That sounds so awesome. Hey everybody, welcome back to Lyrical Resonance, where we believe that where words fail, music speaks. Getting into a band today that, again, I've never heard of before, called Symphony of Heaven. This was actually recommended to me by a friend of mine, Jeffrey, who runs Beyond the Grave. Super cool dude, but he has asked me to get into this song. Now, based on their own description, I have no idea what I'm about to get into. This is a Christian blackened death metal act from Owensville, Indiana. I typically don't listen to like black metal, as it's just not my cup of tea. And so I have no idea what's about to happen with this. Don't know if I'm about to have my face melted or what. And by the way, getting ready to do some new like scheduling type stuff where I'm gonna do a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday video, and I'm trying to think of different like themes for those days. I'm thinking Friday, which is today that this video is posting, is gonna be Face Melt Fridays, where I'm gonna do more aggressive, heavier kind of music. Monday, I'm thinking of calling Move Me Monday, which is gonna be music that really speaks to me. Whether it's a heavy song, a soft song, hip hop, whatever, but just lyrically moves me. And then Wednesday is going to be, I have not yet figured out Wednesday, but I think that's going to probably fall more to like explicitly Christian stuff, maybe worship. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure out Wednesday. But anyway, that's what we're getting into. We're about to listen to the song Death March by Symphony of Heaven. This music video just came out on the 21st of August. A link for it will be in the description below. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because where words fail, music speaks. And we're going to be here to listen to what it has to say. So let's listen close.
And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they may believe a lie, that they all might be down to believe not the truth, but took pleasure in unrighteousness.
So, right away, it makes me think of what I'd expect from a black metal band. It's got a lot of tremolo picking, which is pretty consistent. So I'm going to try not to stop too much. But not a bad start. I really liked the, the synthesizer that sounded kind of like a choir that was kind of rising through that intro. That was cool. But let's keep listening. So first you had that really low growl, which sounded really vicious and really guttural, and it sounded really good. But then you have the entire other end of the spectrum that, what just happened? My mind is kind of blown right now. But anyway, that was unexpected. I do find it interesting for a black metal band to have in the middle of this opening verse, not just straight double bass, snare, and tremolo picking the whole time. I can appreciate that. Oh man, that guitar riff is mean. Oh, that sounds so cool.
And be revealed the son of perdition, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped. The son of perdition, the son of perdition, your domination and destruction. Your domination separate and pain, the rebel in my fornication, drunk by the blood of the sea.
Okay. What? Okay, so going into this, the opening didn't impress me. I'll be honest. It just didn't. The little bit of black metal I've tried to listen to, my big issue with it is with the tremolo picking, there's so little like variation to the tone, and and maybe it's because I'm not a guitar player, but to me it doesn't sound like there's actually any musicality to it. It sounds like what my dad used to say about my music, that it just sounded like noise. And I realize I am sounding like my dad, but it just, I don't know, I feel like there's so little variation, at least in that intro. The saving grace of that intro was definitely that choir sound that was there. That was really, really cool. But as the song progressed, man, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed. The guitar work was actually way better than I expected it to be. Those riffs were so mean sounding, and just, oh man, that final, you know what, I'm going to go back a little bit because I want to hear that ending one more time. So Bear with me a second because I need to listen to that again. Gosh, that's so good, man. That sounds so awesome. Like I said, I was not impressed with the intro to that song, but as the song progressed, it ended up being a lot better than I anticipated it being, and I enjoyed it far more than I expected I would. So yeah, man, I'm glad I did this because that was a lot of fun. If I'm honest, the vocals left a little to be desired. I think wasn't the worst I've ever heard by any means or by any stretch, but it definitely wasn't up there in my favorites. Still enjoyable, just wasn't in my favorites. And so I think if there was maybe a little bit more variation in the vocals, I might have enjoyed it more, but it wasn't bad. The dude can scream, he can growl, he can have that good mid-range. It seemed very monotone. And anyway, not bad though. Really, really interesting. Lyrically, it feels very apocalyptic in nature. And when I say apocalyptic, I mean like when you look at the apocalyptic literature of Scripture, that like looking to some of the prophecies of Isaiah, Ezekiel, Joel, and Amos, and even getting into some of the stuff Daniel talked about, and especially the book of Revelation, very, very heavily influenced by that, I would imagine. The interesting thing to me is in their lyrics they have, "Let there be death and destruction, let there be suffering and pain. They revel in vile fornication, drunk by the blood of the slain." And then it ends with that chant of death march, but then they say, "Death, but not for us. This grave they have dug themselves." Now, knowing that these guys are Christian, it makes sense to me that they're talking about how, with the free will we have, we make choices. And consistent with our worldview, at the end of all things, when, as we believe, when God comes back and restores creation to its original order and purpose, there's going to be that separation where people are going to, if they haven't believed in God, they don't believe in God, they are going to spend eternity separated from Him, which doesn't set well with people. And one of the arguments I hear is, why would a loving God send people to hell? And my response to that for years now has been, He doesn't. He allows us to choose. And that's true. I mean, if we are going to concede to free will, we have to admit that we get a choice. And the thing about it is, that people don't get, is you practically have to climb over the cross to make that decision. Like, God was so crazy about us and loving towards us that He sent Jesus to die on a cross to save us from eternal separation from Him. And we have to choose. Like, He's not going to force Himself upon people who don't want to be in His presence. If we make that choice and we choose, I want nothing to do with God, then if He comes back and we've still made that choice, He's going to allow us the dignity of our choice and allow us to go to where we've chosen to go, away from Him forever. And that's a kind of thing that is just crazy, but the truth, there's a lot of truth in that line. They've dug this grave for themselves. A lot of people are going to make that decision that they want nothing to do with God, and then they're going to get left with that, and it's disheartening. And that's honestly why it's so important for Christians to be authentic in their faith and to be genuine and to show, that we are reflections of Christ. And it's important for us to not, try as we might, it's so important to not be hypocritical, to be good and true and honest reflections of Christ's love in the world, because people need to see that. And what they see right now, especially with Christians in America, is that God is not loving, that He's not kind, that He's not willing to hear people, and that He's not willing to listen and understand. More importantly than just listening, to understand what people are dealing with, what they're going through. And that's just so not the case. He's so caring and so kind and so loving, and he wants nothing more than for people to choose to be in a relationship with him. But if they choose not to, he's not going to force himself upon them. And so it's a really interesting thing about that people either don't want to talk about or don't want to come to grips with. And so anyway, this was a decent song. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Not my favorite. I'll probably add it to my library because that was really, really fun. Like I said, it took me by surprise. The musicality was far better than what I expect from a black metal group. Those riffs were insane. The screaming was, he had variation. Like I said, he could go low, go high, and right in the middle. I just wish there would have been more of it, and so it only gets a 7 out of 10. But you got to let me know, what did you think about this? Did you enjoy it? What, if you were to give it a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rank it? I'm interested to hear from you. If there's a song you want me to check out, leave a comment and let me know, or you can email me at lyrical.resonance.ia@gmail.com. Super glad I checked this out. Again, the link to this video, to their music video, will be in the description below, so check that out. Go support them, show them some love. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button to Lyrical Resonance, because where words fail, music speaks, and we're going to be here to listen. But until our next one, as always, you guys, stay safe, be blessed. We'll see you soon.